May 1st used to be known as National College Decision Day, but these days it's far from it. That is the topic of today's video. My name is Craig Meister. I'm a college admissions coach. You can learn more about me and how you can work with me one-on-one throughout the entire college admissions process on my website, which is collegemeister.com. And if you're interested in learning about whether you are or your student is on track for selective college admission, I strongly recommend that you go to my new website, areyouontracktogetin.com. On that site, you can complete a 3-minute free assessment. Your results will be emailed to you in a jiffy, and you will learn whether or not you are on track or your student is on track for selective college admission, or if there is still quite a bit of work to do. Again, the website, areyouontracktogetin.com. So the good news is this. May 1st used to be the end. It used to be the end of the college admissions process, but because of different rules being lifted in recent years, including sort of like a rule that basically prevented, back in the day, colleges from really competing against each other and stealing students from each other after May 1st. That rule is gone. That was sort of the first domino to fall. But then also because of the actual way in which the FAFSA was rolled out here in the 2023-2024 admissions cycle, all bets are off in terms of May 1st being the date by which most colleges and universities in the United States have composed their class of 2028. And again, this is for those students entering in fall 2024. The colleges wish May 1st was the day by which, they had everything in order. And I'm sure you, if you're a parent or a student, also wish you knew where your child or you were going to school for sure if you're a high school senior in 2024 in the fall. But it's very possible you don't know because it's a mess these days. And lots of reply by deadlines or deposit dates have been pushed back into May, or in some cases even June. But even the colleges that haven't formally done that are sometimes giving case-by-case exceptions and options for students to tell them a little later. This is not college admissions advice tailored specifically to you. I don't know what your situation is, but if you have any doubts about whether the colleges on your list need to know from you today, May 1st, or are willing to push it back further and you don't know the answer, contact those colleges directly, because depending on what you've set up with those colleges or what previous conversations or communications you've had, that will really determine whether or not today, May 1st, is the day by which you are yelling out, Mayday, Mayday, help me, or you have some more time yet to decide where you're going to go to college. So what am I building up to here? The other really good news is that there are a lot of colleges in the United States and abroad that are still accepting students for fall 2024. These are not just community colleges. These are 4-year accredited institutions around the world, but primarily in the United States, that are happy to consider your strong application if you can produce one in the coming days. Yes, it's May, but it is not too late. Again, if this was back when I started doing this, in the 2005, 2006 time range, it would be like crickets, especially with selective colleges and universities, which is still pretty much the case with the most selective. They obviously are sometimes looking into their wait list in early May, but for all intents and purposes, very, very selective colleges and universities are basically in good shape this time of year every year. Even with the FAFSA disaster this year, many of them still have composed their classes to the degree they need to be very confident going into the summer melt period, as they call it, when always some kids disappear or some kids renege on their willingness to attend in the fall. But the colleges right below the very, very most selective level, and every other college below that, they're happy to make deals and some trades and some, consider you in many cases this time of year. There are members of NAAK, which is the National Association for College Admission Counseling, that every year indicate to NAAK, and I will link to this website below this video, whether or not they are still in the market for accepting first year and even transfer applications in May or later. And as of today, May 1st, 2024, I'm looking at the site right now. I'm going to, again, link to this below the video. There are 185 colleges in the world that are willing to consider first-year applicants still. And yeah, it's May 1st, but they're looking at first-year applicants for availability for fall spaces in their entering freshman classes. And these include Adelphi University, Arcadia, Arizona State. So small private schools, big public schools. I'm just in the A's. But there are, again, 185 schools in total. And I'm just scanning through them as I talk to you too. I can double task. I can multitask, right? Colorado State University is on this list. They're still accepting, apparently. So even if colleges' formal deadlines are passed, formal deadlines in this day and age don't necessarily always mean that much as certain colleges, because they are willing to consider strong applications from students after their date. Ithaca College, I'm a huge fan of Ithaca. I think that's a nice size school, and it's in a nice location. Maybe you can date someone at Cornell. John Cabot University in Rome is still accepting. Let's go to Rome. Let's have a Roman holiday for 4 years. That's in a beautiful part of Rome, too, a very historic part. I think it's called Trastevere. That's what I always used to call it, but maybe I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. I'm not Italian, so I apologize in advance. But I'm just scanning this list. There are some real interesting colleges that are still accepting applicants and therefore accepting first-year students. So please consider, again, I will just say, this is called the College Openings Update. Quote, NAAK's annual college openings update are options for qualified students in a voluntary listing for NAAK member post-secondary institutions that are still accepting applications from prospective first-year and or transfer students for the upcoming fall term. Now in its 37th year, oh, it's almost as old as I am. The college, it wasn't online when it started, the College Openings Update is a tool for counselors, parents, and others assisting students who have not yet completed the college admissions process. Maybe you haven't even started, but maybe you're a candidate for admission. Maybe you have good enough grades to get into some of these schools. And not all of these schools, as you can imagine, are that selective. So a lot of these schools will take C students, maybe even lower than C students, but a number of them are big name schools that will not take a D student or a C student. But they're still willing to accept some students. Richmond American University in London, Rider University in New Jersey. There are colleges, all St. Michael's in Vermont, Rollins, that's in Central Florida. So there are colleges out there, some schools that have street cred in certain circles, at least. And they, St. John's, if you really like philosophy and the great books, St. John's, both in New Mexico and in Maryland. I have 2 campuses, one in Santa Fe, one in Annapolis is accepting. University of Tulsa. So I'm in American University of Paris. Let's have crepes. Let's do that. That could be fun. They're still accepting. So this could be fun for you. So it's just because all of your friends may know where they are going, or he or she or they are going, doesn't mean that you can't know in a short period of time too. Maybe if you apply today, it's May 1st. Maybe you'll know by May 15th. These colleges want you to seal the deal with them too. So this is sort of like the UK clearing process in some ways. If you're American, you have no idea what that is. But basically, this is sort of their space is available. Let's make this happen. Let's have a quickie wedding, basically. University of Melbourne, at least officially in Australia, Victoria, Australia is accepting still. University of Roehampton in UK. So anywhere on earth you may want to find yourself, you might find a college that is still accepting, that offers something in the way of an English language 3 or 4 year curriculum. In the UK, it's usually a 3 year curriculum, but most around, obviously, the United States, it's a 4 year curriculum. I strongly recommend that you peruse this list carefully. If University of Wyoming, let's have some cowboy action. That is fun. Let's do that. Let's go down to Wyoming. I hear the wind is quite intense at night in Wyoming, maybe during the day as well. It's very quiet in some parts of Wyoming, so all you hear is the wind. But University of Wyoming is still accepting. That's a state land-grant university. It's a well-known university. It may be a little less popular than some of its peer institutions like University of Utah. University of Colorado in that neighborhood, but it is still worth considering. Washington College, named after our first president, on Maryland's Eastern Shore. That's a small private college. Whittier has had some rough days recently with some leadership changes, but Whittier is a Quaker school in California that is still accepting in Southern California. That's not a bad place to be. You could be in the mountains. You could be on the beach, within an hour in both directions. That's not bad at all. If you like diverse weather and you want to be in sunny Southern California in a small, supportive Quaker environment. So my point is this. It is not too late. Yes, Yale and Harvard, it is too late for them for fall 2024 admission. But there are many colleges beyond Yale and Harvard, and there are some that are really well known that are still accepting students, or at least well known enough to make me do this video. Because if it was really just the dregs, I would not be doing this video. But honestly, maybe you are a dreg student and you need to find a school that will take you, in which case plenty of schools are still accepting. These are not officially open admission institutions, meaning that they don't just accept anyone who has a pulse. And in many cases, later in May and definitely by June and July, a lot of these schools will have closed their doors for fall 2024 entry. But these are still schools that, for whatever reason, they have some spaces. They didn't necessarily get the numbers they wanted earlier in the cycle, so now they are really willing to talk. Let's put it that way. And what that looks like, some of these colleges, you may need to do the full-on application like normal. In other cases, you may be able to call and ask, is there an expedited application, or should I just apply via your institutional application as opposed to the one of the Common or Coalition app? So clarify the way in which you need to apply to get this done and to get this done quickly. But even in just the last couple of weeks, I've had students apply late in April for a college that officially had its deadline months earlier because they have been in communication with the institution, and the institution is saying, if you apply now, we will still consider you. So even if you don't find a college on this list that you feel is a college that would be of interest to you, you can always call and just ask, are you still accepting first-year applicants for fall 2024? The worst they can say is, no, we are done. What are you thinking? But in many cases, you may be surprised to find that there could be a little bit more space left. And so please do not give up. And or if maybe the option you were deposited at or seriously considering has fallen through for whatever reason, maybe it's financial, maybe you're now getting cold feet about going 7 states away, maybe you broke up with your girlfriend or boyfriend and that's the whole reason you were going and you're done with that. Whatever the cause may be that you have had a last minute change, do know there are options. And again, I just clicked on a couple filters for freshman admission and those with housing, and I get 185 options. Now, again, this was accurate as of early May, but this could be changing with every passing day, and I don't know if every NAAK member will update as they close the books on the 2023-2024 admission cycle. So you always want to check, but then verify by going directly to that college's website and then calling directly. Don't be afraid. These are real people. Call them up in the admissions office, the first-year admissions office, also sometimes known as the freshman admissions office or undergraduate admissions office, depending on the name of the school or the school itself. They call it different things. Clarify that they are still, in fact, considering new first-year applicants before you put in the effort to submit the application online. Don't necessarily get turned off by the fact that the Common App may say the deadline was 4 or 3 or 2 months ago, especially if you've already been given the word directly from an admissions officer at that school that school is still accepting students. All right, so I hope this helped you. It is May Day around the world. The United States doesn't really celebrate May Day. I guess that's Labor Day in the United States. That's in September. But around the rest of the world, it's May Day. But the play on words, of course, is May Day, we're in danger. And usually on May 1st, you were in danger. If you did not have a 4-year college that you have deposited at by May 1st, you probably weren't going to go to a 4-year college in the fall. But again, the good news these days in 2024, maybe into perpetuity if you're watching this in the future, is there are plenty of colleges, well-known and respected colleges, that are accepting applications still for first-year applicants. Click on that link below this video to find if a college you are interested in and may be still accepting. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. If you would like to work with me one-on-one throughout the entire college admissions process or for just part of it, you can again go to my website, collegemeister.com. Until next time, stay safe, stay well, and most importantly, stay stress-free throughout the entire college admissions process.